and then you move on to now adding your effects or your processing chain. So let me just close this. Okay, so now when we turn on so the first thing I'm gonna add is picture. Let's see what's happening here. So I'm gonna be turning on these plugins one by one so you guys can follow and at least get to clearly understand what each and every plugin is doing. So we're starting with picture, which is pretty much just gonna give us the correction, the pitch correction of our vocal. So let's see how this sounds with picture on, and we can see what picture is doing.
Boy, checking that time for the bass, the honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings, dramas around in the passion with ease. Boy, then go cold on your knees, not many people to please. Stack it up, pocket up, ride it up. I am the man with the deal.
Yeah, not too much. You don't have to apply too much. So without
this, checking that time for the bass, the honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings, dramas around in the passion with ease. Boy, then go cold on your knees, not many people to please. Stack it up, pocket up, ride it up. I am the man with the deal. Word, for real, speak like you mean what you say. Turn it up if they don't hear you, but I ain't no star in the way. Word, for real, speak like you mean what you say.
So I think this is cool. Yeah, so I have it sent now to the next channel, which is channel 3, where I'm doing all the processing, the major processing now. So the first thing that I want to put on this is an EQ to cut off all the low frequencies that we don't need. And this EQ is pretty much basic, so I'm cutting off all the low frequencies at around 115 going through 61%. That's about 115 hertz. So, and then I also have a few dips here. As you can see, this is called subtractive EQing. I'm pretty much dipping all the frequencies that are going overboard, and I'm using the frequency the spectrum visualizer here to kind of note where those frequencies are going, those frequencies which are going over the mix are specifically in the frequency range. So when I turn this on,
checking that time for the bass, the honey is dripping on keys.
Without
time for the lyrical kings, dramas around in the passion with ease. Boy, then go cold on your knees, not many people to please. Stack it up, pocket up, ride it up. I am the man with the deal. Word, for real, speak like you mean what you say. Turn it up if they don't hear you, but I ain't no star in the way.
So when you observe the EQ here, your main aim is to achieve a balanced waveform. Okay, from the visualizer, you know, the frequencies hitting should be at least balanced. So that's why that's the approach that you have to take as you are EQing. Okay,
boy, checking that time for the bass, the honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings, dramas around in the passion with ease. Boy, then go cold on your knees, not many people to please. Stack it up, pocket up.
And remember, don't do too much, don't overdo anything. Just be making these subtle changes, very, very little small changes, and pay attention to the overall sound. So the next thing I'm gonna add is transient processor. So if you don't know what transient processor is, it's pretty much like a compressor that's more focused on the transients of the waveform or the initial parts of the waveform. So it can be used to give that punch to whatever you're processing, or to actually clean up the punching or transients. So here's what it sounds like without, and I'll engage it.
Boy, checking that time for the bass, the honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings, dramas around in the passion with ease. Boy, then go cold on your knees, not many people to please. Stack it up, pocket up, ride it up. I am the man with the deal.
I'm dipping the transients. I'm not bringing them up. So that's why you have a negative attack. I mean, a negative dipping. It's not adding volume, it's more like compressing the sound. It's not amplifying.
Boy, checking that time for the bass. The honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings. Drummers are running the passion with ease.
The next thing I have is a fruity compressor. So with the fruity compressor on, I have it set to a higher ratio. Actually, that's 1 to 5 to 1, and I have the threshold set at negative 25 dB. Then I also have the makeup gain at 5 dB.
Boy, checking that time for the bass. The honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings. Drummers are running the passion with ease. Boy, don't go cold on your knees. Not many people to please. Stack it up, pack it up, run it up. I am the man with the deal. Word.
So you can adjust this depending on how your vocal sounds like. So what this compressor is doing is pretty much just bringing, compressing the vocal takes over and bringing up the levels or the gain a bit more.
Boy, checking that time for the bass. The honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings. Drummers are running the passion with ease. Boy, don't go cold on your knees. Not many people to please. Stack it up, pack it up, run it up. I am the man with the deal. Boy.
So this next thing that I have here is Maximus, and I'm only using this Maximus for the DSR. It has a DSM plugin. It has a DSR, here one of the default set presets. So you have the DSM, the DSR narrow band, and the split band. I usually use the DSR split band and then play around with the mid-range frequency coverage, depending on which frequency range you feel like there's a lot of harsh sibilances, the T's, the P's, and the plosives and all that. So you can use Maximus DSM preset in the DSM preset in Maximus to kind of go around that issue, and it should make your vocal sound a bit better. So let's hear how this sounds like.
Boy, checking that time for the bass. The honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings. Drummers are running the passion with ease. Boy, don't go cold on your knees. Not many people to please.
Now at this point, it feels like we have a lot of mid-range and we have a lot of mid-range frequencies that are causing this muddiness. The vocal now sounds a bit muddy, so we can use a multi-band compressor to kind of shape it into the right tone that we want. So pay attention with that, and then I'll engage along the way.
Boy, checking that time for the bass. The honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings. Drummers are running the passion with ease. Boy, don't go cold on your knees. Not many people to please. Stack it up, pack it up, run it up. I am the man with the deal. Word, for real. Speak like you mean what you say. Turn it up if they don't hear you, but I ain't no staying away. Word, for real. Speak like you mean what you say. Turn it up if they don't hear you, but I ain't no staying up.
So this brighten is it makes the vocal a little bit more brighter and controlled in the muddy frequency, and it's a little bit more controlled in those muddy frequencies. And then the next thing that we're gonna be adding is a fruity parametric EQ, just to shape it more further and cancel out any other frequencies that we don't need. So here's how it sounds like without, then I'm engaged along the way.
Boy, checking that time for the bass. The honey is dripping on keys. Time for the lyrical kings. Drummers are running the passion with ease. Boy, don't go cold on your knees. Not many people to please. Stack it up, pack it up, run it up. I am the man with the deal. Word, for real. Speak like you mean what you say. Turn it up if they don't hear you, but I ain't no staying away. Word, for real. Speak like you mean what you say. Turn it up if they don't hear you, but I ain't no staying up.
So cool. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is parallel processing.